Thousands of people have lost everything trying to get rich with Bitcoin, not because the technology failed, but because they misunderstood the game. They rushed in seeking fast money, treating the most honest financial system in history like a digital casino. But the market does not reward greed, it brutally punishes impatience. If you approach this asset with a gambler's mindset, expecting easy wins without understanding the risks, you are not investing. You are feeding a machine designed to crush you. What I am about to share are not simple investment tips. They are strict rules of survival for a system where no one is coming to rescue you. To navigate this volatility without being destroyed, we will dismantle the noise and rebuild your strategy through 5 fundamental pillars of sovereignty. These principles separate the naive tourists from those actually constructing freedom. If you are ready to stop gambling and start building a fortress that no bank can ever touch, pay close attention to what follows. Most people enter crypto thinking their job ends when they hit the buy button. You see a number on a screen, maybe a green line going up, and you assume that money is yours. But there is a silent terror that keeps experienced Bitcoiners awake at night. A feeling that if you don't hold the keys, you are just a passenger in someone else's car. The harsh truth is that until you take custody, you haven't bought Bitcoin. You have bought a promise from a stranger who might disappear tomorrow. Let's strip away the marketing and look at the raw mechanics. When you leave your funds on an exchange like FTX or Coinbase, you do not own any cryptocurrency. You own an IOU, a database entry saying they owe you money. If that company goes bankrupt, gets hacked, or simply decides to freeze your account, your claim dissolves instantly. True ownership in this space is binary. Either you hold the private keys yourself, or you are trusting a middleman to not steal from you. Think of your private keys, that list of 12 or 24 words, as the physical keys to an unbreakable digital vault. If you leave them on an exchange, it is like buying gold bars but leaving them in the dealer's safe, hoping he doesn't run away. Taking self-custody is the act of walking into the shop, taking the gold, and locking it in your own fortress. Those words are not just a password, they are the raw material of your wealth. If you lose them, the vault melts away forever. This goes beyond just avoiding hackers. It is about absolute political immunity. When you hold your own keys, no government on earth can seize your wealth, and no bank can block your transactions. You become a sovereign entity, independent of the traditional financial grid. This is the first time in human history that you can transport billions of dollars across a border with nothing but your memory. That level of power is terrifying to the system because it makes you uncontrollable. Your immediate duty is to secure those words offline. Never type them into a computer, never take a photo, and never save them in the cloud. Write them on paper or stamp them into steel, then guard them as you would your own life. Once your fortress is secure and your keys are cold, you stop worrying about platform risk and start focusing on the market itself. But having the keys is only the first step. Now you must cultivate the mental discipline to hold them through the storm. Have you ever stared at a red chart, heart pounding, wondering if you made a terrible mistake? That knot in your stomach isn't caused by the market, it is caused by your position size. Most people treat Bitcoin like a lottery ticket, throwing in their rent money hoping to get rich overnight. But when you overextend yourself, you hand the controls of your emotions over to a volatile asset. Anxiety is the price you pay for greed, and it clouds every decision you make, leading to panic. The only way to survive here is to pass the sleep test. If the price drops 20% tonight and you cannot sleep, you are overinvested. We need to strip away the leverage and the desperation. Start small. Invest only what you are truly willing to lose in the short term to gain the long term. When the amount is manageable, fear vanishes. You stop checking the price every 5 minutes. You reclaim your mental clarity, allowing you to act with conviction rather than panic. Think of the market like a violent storm. The day trader tries to predict every gust of wind, running back and forth, eventually getting blown off the cliff. The true Bitcoiner is not chasing the wind. He is building a windmill. He plants his feet, anchors his foundation, and lets the energy of the storm work for him. While the trader is exhausted from fighting nature, the builder captures the power. You are here to construct a legacy, not to bet on which way the wind blows. Every cycle, I see geniuses trying to sell the top and buy the bottom. They think they can outsmart the algorithm, but the market is a humiliation machine. It waits for you to feel confident, then it moves against you. By trying to time the market, you usually end up selling your future cheap and buying it back expensive. The real alpha isn't found in trading charts. It is found in time in the market. The goal is accumulation, ensuring you own a piece of the scarcity before it's gone. Your strategy must be boring to be effective. Stop looking for excitement and start looking for peace. When you lower your time preference, you stop caring about today's volatility and start focusing on the next decade's purchasing power. You don't need to be a professional trader, you just need to be stubborn enough to not sell. Once you have mastered your emotions, you need a tactical plan to deploy capital without thinking, a method that turns volatility into your greatest ally. You have likely hesitated with your finger hovering over the buy button, paralyzed by the fear that the moment you click, the price will crash. This obsession with finding the perfect entry is a trap that leaves you watching from the sidelines while the train leaves the station. We tell ourselves we are waiting for a better price, but in reality, we are just procrastinating out of fear. The truth is that nobody knows where the bottom is. Not the experts on TV, not the influencers, and certainly not you. The antidote to this paralysis is a strategy so boring that most people ignore it: dollar cost averaging. Instead of betting your life savings on a single moment, you buy a fixed amount every week, regardless of the price action. This is not just a financial tactic, it is an emotional shield. When the price dips, you automatically buy more Bitcoin for your money. When it rips, your portfolio value increases. You stop trying to predict the future and start mathematically guaranteeing your exposure to it. Imagine you are building a massive stone wall. Some days the stones are cheap, other days they are expensive. But your job is simply to lay one brick every single day without fail. The trader is out there trying to guess the weather, getting soaked in the rain, while you are methodically stacking your fortress. Over time, the daily price of the brick becomes irrelevant. What matters is that you have built a wall that protects you. You weaponize the volatility that destroys others to build your defense. History paints a very clear picture for those willing to zoom out. In the entire existence of Bitcoin, no person who has bought and held for a 4-year cycle has ever lost money. Not a single one. This asset is a machine designed to transfer wealth from the impatient, who need rent money next week, to the patient, who are securing freedom for the next decade. The daily fluctuations are just noise designed to shake you out. If you are losing money, it is not because the asset failed, it is because you quit. Your move now is to automate this process and walk away. Set up a recurring buy, delete the price tracking apps from your phone, and reclaim your peace of mind. Let the algorithm do the heavy lifting while you focus on living your life. But be warned, consistency is only half the battle. To maintain this discipline when the world is screaming that Bitcoin is dead, you need a different kind of armor. You need to understand exactly what you own, or the noise of the market will eventually break your resolve. It is easy to feel overwhelmed when every influencer is screaming about a new coin that promises to make you a millionaire by Tuesday. You look at Bitcoin, which seems slow, and then you look at these flashy tokens skyrocketing, and you feel the urge to chase them. This is the siren song of the market. It is designed to distract you, to drain your focus, and ultimately, to steal your capital. Most people drown in this sea of noise because they cannot tell the difference between a revolution and a marketing campaign. Here is the brutal reality. 99% of cryptocurrencies are not money. They are unregistered securities run by startups. They have CEOs, marketing budgets, and roadmaps. If the founder gets arrested, the coin dies. Bitcoin is different. It has no office, no leader, and no PR team. It relies purely on math and energy. When you strip away the hype, you realize that while other projects are fighting to be the next Apple stock, Bitcoin is quietly becoming the internet's base layer for absolute value. Think of the crypto market like a Las Vegas strip. There are flashing lights, loud music, and thousands of casinos begging for your attention. They promise excitement and quick riches, but the house always wins. Bitcoin is not on the strip, it is the bedrock underneath it. While the casinos go bankrupt and get demolished every few years, the land remains. If you spend your energy chasing the flashing lights, you are gambling. If you secure the land, you are owning the foundation of the future economy. This distinction matters because your conviction is the only thing that survives a crash. When the market bleeds, the gambler panics because he doesn't know what he bought. The educated investor remains calm because he understands the mechanics. Knowledge transforms your perception of reality. A 30% drop stops looking like a tragedy and starts looking like a clearance sale. You stop reacting to the price ticker and start reacting to the fundamentals, which have never been stronger. You cannot outsource your understanding in this game. If you don't do the work to understand why inflation happens or how the blockchain actually works, you will be shaken out by the first breeze of volatility. Your intellect is your shield. But even with a strong mind and a secure vault, there is one final piece of the puzzle missing. To truly hold on for a lifetime, you need more than just logic. You need to understand the moral imperative behind why this asset was created in the first place. You probably came here to get rich. There is no shame in that. We all want to provide for our families. But deep down, you have likely felt a strange unease, a nagging sense that the money in your pocket is slowly melting away. You work harder every single year, yet your purchasing power keeps shrinking. This is not an accident. It is a design feature of a broken system. When you realize this, your motivation shifts from simple greed to necessary survival. Bitcoin was not created to buy luxury cars. It was created because banks can freeze your life with a button, and politicians can print your savings into oblivion. It is the only money in the world that cannot be debased by a central authority. It replaces trust in fallible humans with trust in unbending mathematics. It is not just an asset class. It is a technological check on power. It solves the problem of corruption by removing the ability to corrupt the ledger. Think of traditional fiat currency like a house built on a fault line. The landlords, the government, can shake the foundation whenever they need to pay their debts, cracking your walls in the process. Bitcoin is a fortress built on solid bedrock. The earth can shake, the markets can crash, and the laws can change, but the math holding your walls together remains immovable. It is the only property you can memorize and take across a border while naked. It is unseizable. This shifts the conversation from price prediction to human rights. If no one can debase your money, they cannot steal your time. If no one can freeze your wallet, they cannot silence your voice. We are talking about the separation of money and state. In a world where authoritarianism is rising, having a permissionless way to store value is not just a luxury. It is a necessity for dignity. You are not just buying a coin, you are opting out of their control grid. When you understand this, you stop obsessing over the chart and start obsessing over the mission. You realize that holding Bitcoin is a silent vote for a fair system. You move from a mercenary trying to extract profit to a missionary trying to protect the future. This clarity makes you unshakable. You are no longer just an investor, you are a guardian of truth. Now that you have the survival tools, the mindset, and the purpose, let's solidify exactly what comes next. You started this video looking for a quick way to get rich, but you are leaving with something far more valuable, a roadmap to sovereignty. We have dismantled the gambler's illusion and replaced it with the engineer's discipline. You now understand that survival isn't about luck. It is about self-custody, patience, and ignoring the noise. You have the keys to the vault. The only variable left is your own will to follow the rules we discussed today. The financial world is shifting beneath our feet, and the old rules of safety no longer apply. Inflation is the tax on ignorance, while Bitcoin is the dividend on education. The market is a ruthless teacher that punishes the impulsive but rewards the prepared. By committing to this path, you are not just investing, you are opting out of a dying system. The difference between those who panic and those who prosper is simply the depth of their conviction. We are building a community here that values truth over hype. If you want to continue sharpening your mind and protecting your future, make sure you are subscribed to receive these briefings. Share this message with someone who needs to wake up before the next crisis hits. The tools are in your hands and the clock is ticking. Stop gambling with your life and start building your freedom. I will see you in the next one. Stay stoic. Value your time.